All right, so this is two work together. You have this account titles. We have cash. We have one account receivable, which means they're buying some services or we build them. They're buying services on account. We sold services on account to them. Accounts payable means we purchase supplies from them on account, meaning we'll pay for it later. That kind of thing. Transactions are here as we have 1 through 9 transactions going. And so I'm going to use this little pin and I'm going to put that on the side so I can get this transactions going. So first thing we want to do when you're doing this is each transaction is going to have 2 accounts that's going to be changed. We list the first one all the time. Receive cash from owners' investments. We have to decide which 2 accounts are being affected. So the first account is cash is going to be debited, but cash and John Jansen Capital because he is the owner there. Okay. Why do we list cash first? Because it is going to be the debit. So cash is for $4,000. So we would list the debit first and the credit second. So remember, if you looked at our notes, you had which 2 accounts are being affected, cash, capital, which one is a debit, cash is being debited, capital is being credit. So we list the 2 and then the balances. 2 accounts are affected by each transaction. Okay. So March 3rd says paid cash for supplies. So which 2 accounts are affected? We decided supplies and cash. Okay. Why we list supplies first? Because supplies we increase $95 because we paid cash. We have more supplies now, so we increase it with $95. We decrease cash because we paid a check or paid cash, however we did it. We decrease cash. How do you decrease an asset? With a credit. How do you increase supplies, which is an asset? You debit it. Okay. March 4th, bought supplies on account from Supply Depot. So this is us buying supplies on account. Which 2 accounts are affected? We're going to increase supplies because we bought supplies. On account means we're going to pay or they're going to pay later, but since we bought it, we're going to have supplies on account. We have to increase our liability. And if you can't remember, you go to account titles and here's accounts payable. So Supply Depot. So we are increasing supplies. On March 4th, we bought $120 worth of supplies. This is Supply Depot. So we go accounts payable, Supply Depot. We're increasing a bill. How do you increase a bill? Oops. You credit the liability to increase it. We list the debit first, the credit second. So you can see in these first 3, increased receive cash, we increase cash because it's an asset with the debit. We increase capital with the credit. We increase supplies, meaning we bought supplies, an asset with a debit. Cash, we paid cash to buy those supplies, so we credit it. That's lowering an asset. Supplies is increased again when we purchase supplies on account or bought supplies on account. We increase supplies, which is an asset with a debit. We increase the liability, meaning we increase a bill. Sometimes people want to say that's a negative, but we owe them $120. How do you increase the liability? You credit it. March 6th, paid cash for insurance. Paid cash means cash is going down. Insurance means insurance is going up. We list the debit first. Insurance and cash are both assets. Cash is lowered, so insurance we're increasing. We're gaining insurance. Insurance is something of value. It's an asset, and we paid cash. So cash is lowered. We lower an asset. We increase an asset. Just like up here, if you have 2 accounts on the same side of the accounting equation, one goes up, one goes down. One goes up, one goes down there too. So we increase supplies or increase prepaid insurance. It's an asset. We decrease cash. How do you decrease cash with credit? Because that's an asset. Pay cash on account to Supply Depot. We previously bought supplies and owe them $120 here. Now we're paying $80. And we paid cash, so we know cash is being decreased with the credit. Now with our titles, accounts payable, Supply Depot, we increase the liability with a credit. So how do you lower a bill? How do you lower an asset or a liability? Accounts payable is a liability. We lower it with a debit. We know cash is credit. So what we did there is we paid $80 of the $120 bill. 120, how do you increase it? It's on the left side. You decrease the liability with a debit. And that's how you do 2-2.